Did you tell me this was a good purchase when I asked you?
I said
Did
it
you
was
say this
all-
was bad?
I said it was all purchase and we can make it happen.
That's right. That's what it was. What's going on, guys? My name is Voss, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I'm with my friend Josh again. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And we have right there. That's my 1998 Porsche Boxster that still does not run. And the last couple times we got to the point where we saw that the engine wasn't going to be salvageable,
right?
Or it was going to be too much money to be salvageable. And essentially now, last episode you would have seen we got a new engine for it. You said it looked pretty good. It only had 11,000 miles on it. So today the focus is going to be getting that car in. We took a very unorthodox method last time to getting that engine out, which apparently on the internet said it couldn't be done, but like we were able to keep the car as a roller,
right,
and get the engine out, and somehow get the so many other things out. So this time we're gonna focus on, I wouldn't say doing it right because I guess there's no right or wrong way, but we're gonna focus on getting everything out, dropping the transmission to where we can bolt it as one, put it back up, and then service the supercharger. So I don't know how far we're going into it, but let's do it.
We'll find out.
All right, guys, it's probably been about an hour or so. It kind of looks the same, but there's been a lot of brainstorming going on because we've got to get creative, because before we take those wheels off, we got to see if there's a way to kind of maneuver things around. But where are we at right now?
So we've got some of the nuts and bolts off for this big plate underneath. We took the sway bar completely off, and we're gonna, at this point, we're gonna basically brace the transmission up, and then we're gonna get the two transmission mounts out of the way, and then we're gonna unbolt the CV axles from the transmission, and then just position the transmission so it stays up here, remove this plate and slide the transmission jack here, and then we'll just put the transmission jack here and drop the transmission down once we remove this bar and this plate.
How do you foresee this going?
It's honestly within like an hour and a half, 2 hours, we should have this transmission out. I don't think there's going to be anything in here that's going to slow us down for getting it out. And the only reason that we're actually pulling the axles out of the transmission by way of these bolts here is only because we will spend twice as much time trying to get the wheel locks off these wheels without damaging them, and I would much rather do that once we have everything in here and the car's running. Then we'll worry about those wheel locks. Let's make sure everything works before we waste time on the wheel locks.
Yeah, because we actually we don't actually know if this transmission's good,
right? Because
car that never even ran, and here we are now, and
right.
It's been worst case scenario with every situation that we've come across.
Well, once we get it out on the stand, what we'll probably do is shift it manually through each gear and just feel it,
see it,
make sure that it feels okay, and then probably pop the drain plug off and just check fluid, see what condition it's in.
Did you tell me this was a good purchase when I asked you?
I said
did
it
you
was
say
all,
this was bad?
I said it was all purchase and we can make it happen.
That's right. That's what it was. it's been probably another hour or so,
Yeah.
and now we got some good news. This is the transmission that was up there that supposedly you couldn't take out without taking these wheels off. Little more, Josh got crafty here at Craft and Auto Care, and essentially, we took these like structural members, these little rigid members
here.
Yep,
Yeah.
those came down. We got this stuff off, and now we should be able to hopefully pop these off, and
Yep.
this car can stay a roller.
Yep.
And now we can focus on getting this and that put together correctly before it actually goes back up in here.
Yep.
How do you think this is going so far?
I think it's going pretty well, and I think overall in the end, we will have saved ourselves hours of fighting with this to get it out the way we pulled the engine out. We should be able to remove this cross member here with these 2 bolts on that side and the 2 on that side, and just lift this whole assembly up in its hole together, and then literally just plug some stuff in and be ready to go.
So far, new engine this compared to dealing with that been better, right?
I'm hoping so. It's felt better so far.
Assuming this is good.
Assuming that's good, we're gonna do a bench test on it.
Yeah.
We'll run through the gears and rotate the shaft around and see what we can come up with, just to verify that it does go into each gear by hand, and that there's no problems that we can feel by hand. Of course, we won't know for sure until engine's made it up, we got a clutch in it, and we're operating it with the engine speed. Because doing it by hand at 1 revolution per hand speed is nowhere near what it would be on an engine running application. So, you know, we'll do what we can with this on the bench to verify that it's good. We'll check the fluid and all that, but other than that, the true test will be when we bolt it all together and start it up.
It has been a couple more hours, and we kind of actually made a good dent. As you can tell, our transmission's been out, and we've kind of been brainstorming on what the next action plan is. I think we have an idea. So this is our new to me engine. This is the 99 Boxster engine. There is 11,000 miles on this engine, and the only thing we've noticed so far, and Josh pointed this out, is when they took it out for us, they cut the power steering line, and so now it's this rubber hose that turns to this hard line that, as you can tell, mazes into somewhere in here and comes right out. Yeah, so we might have to take all this off, right?
It is very possible that at the bare minimum, I think we're gonna have to take the AC compressor off to be able to snake this line that goes underneath the AC compressor out.
So that's got to happen, and then we still have a supercharger.
Yep.
And nobody really knows the condition of that yet, so that needs possibly looked at. And then I think next time it'll be to the point where this can be bolted to, so we had to order a throwout bearing for this as well. But the clutch had 11,000 miles. You looked like it was in pretty good shape.
Looks good. Yep.
IMS bearing I'm assuming because it has 11,000 miles, it's fine. I mean, what would you be your expert opinion on that?
On the clutch or the engine?
IMS bearing.
Well, the IMS, with that low of mileage, I can't imagine there's any issues with it. With as clean as this engine looks, I can't imagine we're going to have any problems with it.
You said something about testing the fuel on the fuel rails because there's like some gelling.
Yeah, on this fuel rail where the line goes in back here, there was a little bit of gel that was sitting outside here, which would suggest that the fuel line has got gelled fuel in it. So before we put this whole thing in, we may pop these rails off and just take a look at them. We may end up swapping our injectors from the other engine to this one, just to make sure that we don't have any problems with the fuel system once everything's put all in there. And these things are a nightmare to get to when they're in the car. So
yeah, there's not a lot of space.
No, not at all. My hands barely fit down in there. So
so, and then the only other thing to do on top of that is this would be the pulley for the stock motor. Because we have the supercharger, we need to get a
longer belt.
Yeah, either a longer belt or use the belt we have. Probably just get a new one, just to keep it, you know,
we
all
should be able to
nice
use
and
the
clean.
part number that's on that belt
to
cross-reference it to a new one, same length, and then just put it on the supercharger when we bolt it all together.
So we should, I would say, in a, get this done now, next time put this together, and then maybe in like 2 episodes, this thing might fire up.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. If all goes well and we don't have anything crazy happen, I think that's a fair estimate.
The goal was to get this on a rally in the end of August, so we're
in crunch time,
yeah,
but
we're getting there, so. We are pretty much done for today, but we took the supercharger apart, and it didn't look good.
No.
And let me explain. Let me explain what I mean. It well, one, there was a lot of grime and stuff, which is okay, but if you look at the, I don't know how. Anyway, if you look at those blades, as you spin them, you could see that there was a lot of gunk buildup, some shavings, a couple of, you could feel like more than just a little surface like scratch.
Right.
So now we're to the point, we already got a new engine. Do we risk putting this back on a brand new engine with no miles on it and this thing blows up again? Or do we say, don't put this on, bring this back to being a beautiful stock car, clean it up? I don't know, you guys let me know if you want to see this back on here or not, but I don't know, we don't have a whole lot of options in terms of you can't get this. So,
right. Yeah, we kind of did some quick research just to see, is there a supercharger just like this one out there that we could just buy one and throw it on here, and we came up with almost nothing on this. It's a Magnuson supercharger. We've got some local contacts that may be able to help us out. Time is of essence right now, and then obviously cost. We don't know what it would cost to rebuild this one, so that's kind of where we're at, is making a judgment call on where do we go from here.
So guys, if you enjoy this video, hit that like button. The more you like this, the more I can do this, because this doesn't pay anything, and we gotta build a channel to support itself. But if you find this video interesting, definitely support the channel, check it out. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. And make sure you check out Crafton Auto Care here in Dayton, Ohio.